absence of an RTA, what do we do to further some of these transportation issues? And I think about Brian DeWeese and possibly in the Regional Medical Center. We've had this conversation many times. The Veterans Clinic is coming, but driving down Route 1, it is hard to see how the jobs that are going to be here are going to be able to be easily accessed in the way that Route 1 is now. How do we make that jump without local funds to commit? How do we solve the problem so ambulances can get to Ryan's Hospital down Route 1?
Well, I'm just going to chime in where Bobby left off. I mean, part of this isn't a state problem; it's a local problem, right? And we have a supervisor in the room, and Chris, you can chime in anytime you want. We try not to delve into their area, and they try not to delve into ours. So, if it's money, we pretty much appropriate those things. Localities figure out the design and build and how they're doing those entrances and exits and everything else with regard to what's going on over there. I would just say that, we don't know. Bobby never even found out, and I didn't find out till the first day I was driving. I saw, what the heck is this on the side of the road? So I would just say the bigger challenges, I think, is for us as legislators is trying to understand where the funding is coming from, where it's funneled through, how much is going to the actual project, how much is going to people's pockets. I was going to raise my hand when Abigail was speaking about, well, how do we get our money on all of that funding she's talking about for those bridges? Because that is the first I've heard of us getting any money from the federal government for our area. And so I think that's the bigger challenge for those of us in office is trying to track those things down amongst the million other things that we're having to deal with each and every day, is making sure that those dollars are going specifically to the projects that we need done in our area. So that's not an answer, that's just where we are. The reality is that we don't have a lot of control over any of those things. Janet and I were talking earlier about trying to help Durant out and making sure we get a couple buildings done there, and we had a very short, quick discussion about, okay, well, this is how this is going to have to work, and I need it like yesterday because we're walking in and I'm going to have to pull some favors because none of us up here, even Bobby, doesn't have enough seniority to be on appropriations. He's on finance, but he's not on appropriations, and if you're not on those specific monies committees, it's very hard, very difficult to get money back to our region for specific projects. So I think we've got, Congresswoman Spanberger, Whitman's still involved. If you have not heard, a fellow colleague of mine and Congressman Don McKeechin passed away yesterday, and so I just wanted to put that out there. Please be praying for his family. Don was a phenomenal senator, great congressman. He was helping me literally on a project last week with the Indian tribe in Stafford, and so Abigail graciously is taking that effort up. So I just want to say to his family, thank you for Don's service. But getting back to your question, the other thing we can do is have a little patience, and I know that's hard for all of us to say. I talk to Marcy at VDOT at least once a week about different issues. Why did the bonehead engineers do this, and they're causing accidents? They're working through it. They're absolutely working through it. It's very difficult. For the city itself, I think we made a colossal mistake by dividing 95 South like that, because people just miss it, and now they're all having to get off on 126 and we just bypass Fredericksburg. It wasn't my thought process, but by the time I figured out what was going on there, that was done. And so I think greater engagement from you all and maybe getting more updates from VDOT would certainly help us. And I know Marcy Parker is more than happy to come speak. So maybe the next time, Susan, we do one of these, we get VDOT in the room. I think that would really help.
Anybody else care? You don't have to, you don't want to.
Yeah, part of the problem is some of the VDOT policies, and I'll use as an example there at Thornburg, we've got Kalahari coming. And VDOT has said, well, it doesn't justify a traffic signal based on their formula. Because the average traffic count has to reach a certain number for them to say, well, a traffic light is going to be necessary. And I sort of get that. But when you look at a project like Kalahari, I think I can use as a model King's Dominion, where their normal attendance Monday through Thursday, ergo the traffic count Monday through Thursday, is going to be about a third of what's going to be on Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So if you take the average, you've skewed the numbers as to what the need is going to be on Friday, Saturday, Sunday. But VDOT's formula is set so that everybody gets treated fairly, but it's also unrealistic. And I think that's part of the significance of the issue we've got specifically there with the Veterans Hospital. It's based on a formula that doesn't take into account such things as ambulance lanes and access and things of that nature. So part of the challenge is going to be that we've got to make some changes. I definitely agree with Bryce. We need VDOT in the room when we're having regional conversations about transportation issues every time it comes up.
Absolutely, we do. And I think with Virginia's smart scale, the transportation funding mechanism, it scores projects submitted to VDOT, and it's based on how they would address congestion and provide access to jobs, safety, and other benefits. But 6 years into its implementation, we know an evaluation shows that these projects have been predominantly reactionary and addressing these problems. So this upcoming session, the administration is looking to revamp the program and to make it more proactive in preventing potential congestion and gridlock. So instead of looking back, it's a process to maybe look forward now, which is I think really what we're talking about now.